why your budget keeps failing you, and more importantly, how to fix it quickly. Welcome back to Start Here, the very special mini-series within Sugar Mama's Fireplay, where I answer your real-life money questions and help you get started with clarity, with confidence, and with direction. Today's question really hit me in the heart because it's something that so many people struggle with but feel too embarrassed to talk about. Someone had the courage to write to me and say, "Hi, Canna, I need help with my budgeting. No matter how hard I try, I cannot stick to my budget and I always run short before payday, which means I end up using my credit card debt, creating more debt for myself. I feel like I'm going around in circles. Can you please help me or show me how to get started with my budget?" Now, first of all, thank you so much for having the strength and courage to ask this. There is absolutely no shame in struggling with a budget. It doesn't mean you're lazy, and it definitely doesn't mean you're irresponsible. It simply means that you don't have the right structure or the right system in place to support you. Budgeting isn't all about willpower and self-control. It's really about building and creating the system, the habit, the routine that supports your real life, your real goals, not your idealized life. So let's talk about why budgets fail and give you some really important steps, tricks, hacks, and strategies that will help you fix the problems with your budget. All right, let's start here. If your budget keeps failing you, it's not actually you that's the problem. It's the budget. Budgets usually fail for several main reasons. And today, as I said, I want to talk you through each one in detail, but more importantly, show you how to fix them simply, practically, and quickly. Now, before I begin, these tips come from the exact foundation that I teach inside the Sugar Mama Budget and Cashflow Academy. So if you love today's episode and you think, oh my goodness, this is the type of help, guidance, and advice that I need for my budget, please know you can enroll in this course. And this course includes templates, it includes instructions, it includes videos to follow, even backup podcasts, and on top of that, it includes a one-on-one session with me for up to an hour online where we go through your budget together. But more importantly, we go through your new cash flow system that's going to support your budget. That way, we look at all of those expenses, make sure we look at all the opportunities to save more money, that help make sure that this ritual, this routine, this new system of yours works for you so that you can get through your pay cycle, but also you can start achieving all of your goals and dreams. Now, I will link in the podcast notes all the details for you. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram. But please note, this exact academy is how I personally run my own budget and cash flow system. And it's something that I actually started and built when I became a single mother and was on a really tight budget with some significant responsibilities that I had to manage all on my own. So I know that this system works because it still works for me today. All right, tip number 1. Your budget has got to be written, it's got to be visible, and it's got to be updated on a regular basis. The first mistake people make when they're doing their budget is they have it in their head. This will never ever work. Your budget, it's got to be written down, and it's got to be somewhere where you can access it quickly, like on your phone, on your desktop, on your laptop, even like if you have a journal on your bedside table. And you've also got to make sure that you update it on a regular basis, ideally every week, because a budget is actually a living document, not a once-off project. Now, this is where so many people just go wrong very, very quickly. And when people say to me, my budget's not working for me, the first question I ask is, well, show me your budget. Now, if they can't show me their budget within 3 seconds, this tells me everything. A written living budget gives you incredible accountability, but it also gives you this powerful awareness. And these two things are absolutely essential if you want a financial change, a financial shift, a financial breakthrough. So make sure your budget is written down. Tip number 2 is to check your long-term transaction history. Most budgets fail because people only include those easy to remember expenses, the ones that quickly come to mind, like your rent or your mortgage, petrol, groceries, phone bill, gym membership, Netflix. But they forget the ones that can actually wreck your entire month. Those are the irregular ad hoc ones, like the annual car rego and CTP, other various insurances, strata, school fees if you have kids, and the school camps, and the kids' school friends' birthday gifts. Then there is obviously the kids' school uniforms and sporting equipment. Then you've got those annual subscriptions, medical expenses, dental expenses, particularly those ones that, are a once-off, like, crowns or root canal. You've also got, family members and friends' birthday parties. You might have Christmas time or any other religious festivity that you choose to celebrate. Then there are things that happen in life, like the opportunity to get some concert tickets that are really hard to get, or someone really special that you'd love to go and see as a once-off in a lifetime opportunity. There also might be things like, weekends away and, other various gifts throughout the year. These aren't actually surprises. They're really predictable when you do your research and look at your long-term transaction history. We just tend to forget about them because they don't come up on a monthly or a regular basis. Now, this is exactly why I tell my Budget and Cashflow Academy students, go back at least 12 months if you can. You've got to see your real spending, not the version you kind of imagine. And if you skip this step, your budget, it's already designed to fail you. So please print off 12 months worth of expenses, go through every single transaction so that your budget is bulletproof. Tip number 3, and that is to simply take your time. This is a really big one because so many people rush through their budgets and budgeting like they're filling out a really boring form. But a rushed budget is, to be honest, a broken budget. Pour yourself a cup of tea or even a glass of wine if you need. Sit down without any distractions, a quiet place so you can focus properly, and give yourself space and time. Because when you're hurried, like everything in life, you miss things, you make mistakes. And the things that you miss are always going to be the ones that come back to bite you. So take a deep breath and look at everything in detail. Take it slowly and look at it carefully. A great budget is not something that you smash out in 10 minutes. It's something that you craft intentionally and thoughtfully over a couple of days, which is why I recommend people almost dedicate a weekend. Obviously not throughout the whole entire weekend, but they dedicate their weekend, a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there throughout the weekend so that you have it done come Sunday night and can feel really good and feel really proud with your new knowledge, insight, and awareness of your spending needs. So take your time in doing your budget. Tip number 4, and that is round up every single figure. This tip alone has saved so many people. Never budget to the nearest dollar. Promise me this. Always round everything up. So $63 expense becomes a $70 expense. $118 per month expense becomes $150 per month expense. A $480 per month expense becomes a $500 per month expense. Why? Because prices fluctuate. Life fluctuates. Your budget needs that breathing room, that buffer, that safety net for when life just does this for you. And when you round up, it creates this safety buffer for yourself. It creates flexibility and also creates protection. It makes it easier to stick to your budget. And these small buffers prevent credit card reliance, emotional spending spirals, and those mid-month panics where you think, oh my goodness, my bank account balance is looking a lot lower than what it really should be at this stage in my pay cycle. So if you have been budgeting to the exact cent or dollar, that could be the reason why your budget keeps failing you. So go back, look at everything, and round it up now. Tip number 5, keep your budget honest. I'm going to say that again. Keep your budget honest. This is the one that requires the most amount of self-awareness, honesty, and a little bit of self-reflection. We love the idea of being a better version of ourselves. And we love the idea of cooking every meal at home, going to the gym daily, buying no takeaway coffees or lunches, and avoiding, Uber Eats forever. But let's keep it real. A budget has got to reflect your real self. not the perfect version or future version of yourself that you're hoping to become. So be honest with yourself. If you get Uber Eats twice a week, put it in your budget. If you buy French champagne once a month, put it in your budget. Your budget's not here to shame you. If you love beauty, fashion, and like to buy a pair of jeans a month or expensive mascara a month, put it in your budget. Be honest with yourself. Absolutely nothing improves when we lie to ourselves. And budgets fail when they are built on this aspiration instead of reality. So please don't try and skim the details of your real life. There is no shame with your budget. Just put it in correctly, fairly, and honestly. And do not feel guilty whatsoever. This is you, your life, and your money. And if it belongs in your budget, that is perfectly fine. Tip number 6, you only need 2 main accounts. Now, one reason why budgets feel messy is because people have too many accounts, or actually sometimes not enough. So inside the Sugar Mama Budget and Cashflow Academy, I teach a really specific system built around 2 core accounts. Now, there are other accounts, but just for simplicity, I'm just going to focus on the 2 most important ones because they do all of the heavy lifting for you and help make sure that you don't run out of money before payday. So the first account is your everyday account. Now, this is for all of those daily, weekly, fortnightly, and monthly expenses. So like groceries, petrol, rent, weekly spending, weekend spending money, debt repayments, gym memberships. Then the second account is your financial float account. And just as it sounds, it acts as a float for you. And this is for all of those quarterly, biannual, and annual expenses. So you can think about like strata, you can think about electricity, you can think about gas. You can think about your registration, any particular insurances that you pay on an annual basis. They all come out of your financial float account, which you can contribute to on a regular basis. And when I say you contribute to on a regular basis, you contribute to it every single time you get paid. Now, in the Sugar Mama Budget and Cashflow Academy, I actually explain how to work out the split between the 2 accounts. And when you're at a stage where you have a sufficient float, you can start allocating money into separate savings accounts, which are earmarked particularly for financial goals, such as saving up a deposit, or saving to invest, or saving for superannuation and retirement even. But for the time being, to help get you started, just focus with those 2 accounts first until you feel comfortable and confident with your cash flow and know that your budget is finally working for you safely and securely. And the thing is, when everything is mixed up in just one account or lots of different accounts, it is pretty much impossible to know what money is actually available and what money is allocated to what expense. This is not about restriction. It's actually about clarity and really keeping things simple and easy to follow so that you actually do it and you want to do it. And then tip number 7, and that is to include your financial goals in your budget. This is the most important shift for you and the most important point in today's episode. Your budget should really reflect your future, not just your present. So if you've got, say, credit card debt, as this listener has, how about putting a repayment plan in your budget so that you really prioritize having that credit card debt finally paid off for good? So if you want to maybe start investing, perhaps you put a regular investing plan into your budget, even if it's only $20 per week. The point is, you're getting started and you're prioritizing it by putting it in your budget and making it an organic habit. You don't need to think about it. It just happens because you follow your cash flow ritual and system you've built yourself. And if you want to build an emergency fund, which I should say is essential before you start investing, you can actually allocate this in every single payday cycle so that you can see it quickly and easily build without having to work too hard. As I said, these are about organic habits within your budget. And as the saying goes, what gets budgeted gets done. Now, on that note of including your financial goals into your budget, your friend is automation. Automation obviously removes the emotion, the willpower, the inconsistency, the guilt, the avoidance, the impulse, the distractions. It turns your goals into habits, and your habits are the ones that help create results, positive, proud results for you. So if you can, automate absolutely everything. However, don't get lazy with automation. Make sure you are regularly checking your automation. And if you see that there's an opportunity to up the ante and increase your automation, please go and amend that regular automation plan. For example, if you have a credit card repayment plan of say $100 per month, but realize you could actually afford to do a little bit more, then increase it to say $150 per month, whatever your budget says you can safely afford to achieve these goals. A good budget will quickly allow you to see the shifts and the breakthroughs. And it will probably become a non-negotiable in your life. You respect your budget, you admire your budget, you stand proudly with your budget. And of course, that matching cash flow system. Now, what should this particular listener do next? Well, as I say right now, directly to this beautiful listener who wrote in, you are definitely not going around in circles. You are doing the work. You are trying. The fact you already have a budget shows me that you're willing to change your future. You just now need the system that supports you, not the one that sets you up to fail, which sounds like what this budget has right now. So we need to do a new budget. We need to start with these 7 steps that I've just shared, and you need to give yourself patience and compassion. Doing a budget is not an overnight transformation. It takes a bit of time for it to start working for you, to understand how it works, to stick to it, to help build that routine and that habit system. It is a skill, but it's a skill that gets easier and easier every time you review and check your budget. And it's not something you're supposed to magically know how to do. Doing a budget is not taught in school, and it's definitely not taught in university. So don't blame yourself or feel embarrassed or ashamed that you are struggling with your budget. The truth is, no one ever taught you until now. For this listener right now, and of course everybody else listening to today's episode, if you would like some support, some structured support, some step-by-step with accountability, with the tools, with the templates, with the instructions, with the videos, the podcasts, and of course me at the very end for that one-on-one session, please make sure you go and check out the Sugar Mama Budget and Cashflow Academy. It is designed for people who feel stuck, feel overwhelmed, or feel unsuccessful with their budgeting and cash flow needs. This is not about shaming you or patronizing you. It's about creating a warm and empowering and completely judgment-free space. A space with me where I will literally hold your hand. So I will link in the podcast notes exactly where to find out more information and how to enroll for yourself. But whether you join in or not, please know this. You can rebuild your financial life through a better budget. You can master your money by understanding your living expenses, your goals, and of course, your distractions and temptations. And sticking to a budget absolutely is possible, but only when you have the right foundation through the correct matching, corresponding cash flow system that I can teach you. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope that this has helped you with any of your budgeting questions. So never hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram at sugarmama.tv. All right, I'll see you next week on Sugar Mama's Fireplay. Ciao for now.